Well, I believe that I was born an alcoholic. Uh, I had, at an early age, I liked, drinking. 5 or 10 years of age, I used to go around and take all the booze that was left at the bottles and things like that. And I always liked the hot toddy. And I used to take medicine with castor oil if there was a shot in it. And so in the beginning, when I look back, I realized that, I have no doubt in my mind that I wasn't born an alcoholic,
That you were?
I was born an alcoholic, and that, it progressed. I had a comparatively short history of drinking in comparison to most other people, but I went through a lot of things, and I think it's prepared me for what I've done, as of now. My drinking progressed. I drank very heavily in high school. I was always in trouble one way or the other. I went into the service. I got into trouble in the service. I had 3 court-martials. They were ready to throw me out. And, I got by the skin of my teeth, and I got an honorable discharge from the service. I had blackouts. I had all kinds of problems. I was in trouble with the law. I was in trouble with my family. When I got out of the Army, I guess my drinking progressed quite a bit. And, I was drinking very heavily over in France. I was in the occupied forces and things like that, and I got extended with the Korean War for a year. And, I got by, I got promotions, my claim to fame when I got out of the Army was that I got discharged as a staff sergeant. Then my drinking really took on a big head of steam. I was just constantly drinking, being mocus. I started having 2 jobs. I was tending bar at night plus working a regular day job. I never lost any time on the bartender job, but the other job I used to lose a few days a week. I had tremendous blackouts. My blackouts used to last for sometimes a week at a time. I would go back I was with the Teamsters, I would go back to jobs that I had been fired from a week before, not knowing what the heck was going on and what was happening. I had memory loss. I had no recollection. I remember one time going on a drunk, and I was probably out of it for 7 days. I appeared to be normal to everybody else, but I was told that I did a lot of things that I found it very hard to believe that I was capable of doing. So, again, this really disturbed me and bothered me. And then I got married, and I was married a short time, and my wife left me, and then I really hit bottom. I hit skid row. I wound up, prior to this, I wound up sleeping on the streets. I wound up having to make a decision early on whether I'd buy a pint of Sneaky Pete or go for one of these SROs where they had the chicken wire up on the top. I'd go in there, sleep for a night or whatever, and I used to have to make a decision whether I'd want to buy the pint or just to get a place to lay down and sleep. I remember taking stuff off people in the other SROs that I was staying in. I had no scruples when it came to alcoholism. When I was in the service, I used to go to a place called Division Street where ordinarily people that hung out there I wouldn't be involved with, but when it came to getting a bottle of booze, I had no scruples. I had whatever I had to do to get a bottle of booze, I was willing to do it. I had no shame. I carried this over for a long time. I figured that I was a little bit unique on that. And then at that last time, I remember I was walking on the streets. I reached the point where I lost the will to live. But I've had all kinds of problems imaginable. I lost my family. I lost my wife. I lost, everything kind of fell in place. And I wound up on a flight deck in Kings County Hospital. And I remember leaving the flight deck, and a psychiatrist says to me, well, I should just drink beer instead of drinking the booze, and I thought he was okay.
She told you that?
Yeah, so, and then I left the flight deck and I went over to my father's house, and there was somebody from AA there, and they thought that I had a drinking problem. And I listened to these people, and I said, it was a husband and wife, and they took me out to a place called Charlie Smith's in Northport, Long Island. I think it's owned by a guy by the name of Charlie Murphy now. But I went out there and I looked at all of these people, and I said, a good drink would kill these people. I had an attitude. I was a punk, a wise guy. And anyhow, I left there, and I moved in with my cousin. I was there for about a week or two, and he asked me to leave because I got into the liquor cabinet. And at this point in time, I had lost the will to live before. I, kind of gave up everything. I didn't really want to do too much with my life. I just figured I was hopeless. I never thought that I was an alcoholic. I thought I was a head case. I thought I was just crazy, that there was something definitely wrong with me.